Today is May 31st, 2026, and welcome to the 490th episode of the Videogames podcast. We're just a stone's throw from 500 people. Here on the show, I talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. My name is Brad Galloway, and I'm the one-man host of the show, and I'm also the editor of GameCritics.com, a reviews website that scores lower than 8 and offers full accessibility info on every review we publish. And with me is everyone's favorite man about town, Carlos Rodella.
What's going on?
How's it going, bud?
I'm just singing my intro.
As per usual, you're a very musical guy.
I am, but I've never ever sang an intro, I don't think. Ever.
I think you did it last week.
Did I? Oh. Was I on the show?
I'm pretty sure that
was
you
I
did.
just by myself?
No, I was there. I remember recording that show.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, welcome, Carlos.
Hey, I'm back, and I have a lot of games to talk about for sure.
Yeah, I do too. This is going to be a pretty packed show, so let's get to it ASAP. Let's take a look really quickly. I think I'm going to forego some of the usual nonsense. Let's just get into housekeeping, shall we? All right, looking at the script here, checking this out. Housekeeping. I got a bunch of things, Carlos, but maybe you want to go first?
Well, I just want to mention that Summer Game Fest is almost here.
Summer Game Fest. You excited?
I am. I'm more excited than you. I know that for sure.
Yes, that's true.
Because I get excited about all these like events, but like I was telling you pre-show, Summer Game Fest is my main one because they do drop a lot of games. It's obviously trailers. It feels like the replacement for E3. It can't really replace that because it's virtual. But it's virtual and in person.
Is there an in-person component?
I think there is. I think there always is. Yeah, they do it.
Probably. They got people in the crowd. Maybe they do a thing. Who knows? I don't know.
But it's not the same as like not to go into old memories, but being at E3 was a whole thing.
That was a thing. But anyway, Game Fest coming up. Is there anything in particular you're looking forward to? I know there's going to be a bunch of surprises, a bunch of stuff we don't know about, but is there something on your radar you're excited for?
Well, obviously, everybody wants some sort of GTA 6 trailer, which I'm just at this point now over. Like, I'm so over the.
You've gone full circle. You were like not excited,
yeah.
Then excited, now not excited, and then we'll go back to excited later.
I think I'm only going to be not excited now. I have a whole rant that I went on Discord, follow us on our Discord. And just in general, like, who do they think they are? With this game, $1 billion. Fuck off at this point. Like, I'll have an okay time with it. I think I said this last episode. And that's it. Let's just stop the whole hype thing. It's over. Like, it's a GTA game, okay?
I'm sure there'll be something. I'm sure there'll be something there.
Well, I like the fact that it's about a couple. That's pretty cool. Like, that's my main thing that I'm interested in, because it's a couple and it's different. But anyways, I'm not really excited about that. I'm excited about, weirdly enough, Crimson Desert, which I still am playing.
Oh, boy.
Which we'll talk about on the circle back. But, like, I think it's 300 hours now, just officially.
Jesus. You're getting into, like, Monster Hunter territory, dude.
Oh, yeah. And, Skyrim territory and Diablo and some of these games. But I think they might mention DLC at the Summer Game Fest.
Do they? I guess I haven't played Crimson Desert at all. I mean, I figured they were just kind of like updating it every 2 weeks with more stuff. Do you think they're going to do like a bigger, more formal, discrete DLC? Or I kind of thought it was more like an online game of service where you just kind of keep going forever kind of thing.
It's both. It's both.
Both?
Yeah. Because if you've seen some of my videos with Glitch to the Ground where I'm trying to like get outside the map of that game.
Yes, that's what you do.
I do that in most games. But there's just huge sections of that map that are just there. So they're not like not rendered. They're actually there with like some towns and stuff, and you can't stay there because they like knock you back. So yeah, it's just you can tell it's right there. They just need to open up these areas, but also yes, because they have been like every week or two giving patches with cool new stuff. Yeah. So they're kind of doing both. And also just the last patch, by the way, they just added 30 new tameable animals.
God, how many animals do you need, man?
You don't, but the fact that it's almost like the developers are like gamers too, right? You hear that a lot, but like their team is they just want to like make new shit.
What's the best animal they drop? What's the best? I mean, I guess in your opinion, what's the animal to get?
There is no best, and I think that I actually.
Well, what do you like the most? And don't say cat or something. Say something exotic.
Well, I found the like weird. It's kind of like a cat, but it's not a cat. It's a different animal. It's like animal that only exists in Crimson Desert. You know, it's cat-ish. I like that character. I can't forget what that is.
Okay, so you said cat. Say something that's not a cat.
I have like an orange bird that I like, and I forgot what he is.
Do they do anything?
Yeah, so like the orange bird will go on my shoulder when I'm stationary.
Yeah.
And he'll fly around and follow me. And almost all the pets, I think all of them will pick up shit. So even the bird who's really small, if I'm like fighting and he's like flying around, if I like kill a bunch of guys, then they drop shit, it'll pick it up.
Do any of them have like combat capabilities? Like, is there like a tiger or something?
No, I have a tiger. I actually, that's probably my favorite. I ride a tiger. My mount is a tiger.
Okay, so you can mount one and then they collect items for you.
Yeah, well, the mounts don't, but the other pets do.
Oh, okay.
So the ones you're walking
pickle lane animals. How lazy. One job? Come on, we're all multitasking. This is the gig economy, you guys. Come on.
They probably will in a patch have it be like you can ride a mount and then also your other pet can be picking shit up. I think that will be a good thing. My tiger can attack, though. Which I've definitely done in videos.
Which is cool.
Oh, and by the way, this is pretty much a circle back for Crimson Desert, but I was in town with my tiger, causing havoc and craziness, and I accidentally did kill a person. Like,
with your tiger?
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to be able to, because the NPCs just kind of like get knocked back, and they're like, hey, get out of here, you know? But then like I did a vicious attack. It was a jumping attack, and the person didn't get up.
He didn't get
up.
And then Carlos left town.
Yeah, and I was like, we got to go. Tiger, we got to go.
That's very funny.
That game is a lifestyle. That game is an escape. It is all the things I kind of wanted. And it's still clunky, but it is still really special.
All right, excellent. All right, well, we will look forward to DLC. All right, good. Any other Summer Game Fest announcements real quick?
Well, I will say that this is not Summer Game Fest, but it's announcements, which is depressing, which will lead me into a rant.
Uh-oh.
And that'll be my only rant of the show.
Okay, so you say.
Fable's delayed again.
Coming as a surprise to no one.
Yes. I actually do want to play it. I think they're going to pull it off. I really think it's going to be a fun game.
Okay.
And I like the, day-night cycles for NPCs and that whole, like, the world changes on the things you do that they used to do in the older games. I believe all that, but I just don't believe the line that we are delaying it because of GTA 6. I think it's just not done.
So to clarify, they did whoever's in charge was like, yeah, we're actually delaying it because there's too many games coming out and we don't want it to be, just drowned out by whatever. And I get what you're saying. Natural suspicion. I think anybody in the gaming circle is probably already suspicious, especially of this game in particular. That said, I don't know. I mean, so number one, I do think there are too many games coming out because just as a point of comparison, I mean, as the editor of GameCritics.com, I get so many emails per day. I get so many emails, I can't even read them all. Like, I just quickly scan, and within like 1 second, I go, do I read it or don't? And then I delete like 3/4 of them, and then I have some that are left over. So there's a million games that like are not even making it to anybody's eyeball. So I think that there are too many games for sure. But also, I mean, GTA 6, if it's anything that's even remotely in that window, is going to get like steamrolled, dude. So I kind of think there's a little bit of truth in this about it.
Okay, well, here's my rant then. Thank you for that.
Rant.
That is CounterPoint. So that's point, and now here's CounterPoint.
Okay.
And I made this in Discord. Again, follow us on the Discord. Is just like a movie or an album or something. If a new rock record came out and another pop record came out, I'd want to hear both. Like, I wouldn't be like, you know what? There's too much music. Fuck that pop record. I'm only going to listen to the rock record. That's the music in comparison, okay? The movie and TV comparison is more apt, okay? Way more apt. Because Spider Noir, which I love, I'm watching. I'm also watching Widow's Bay, which is a horror.
Yeah.
So much shit's coming out right now for TV. So much shit, Carlos. I love it because they're different shit. And I can watch all of it at the same time. It's a terrible, terrible excuse. Because
I hear what you're saying. Wait, I got a counterpoint.
Yes.
I got a counterpoint.
Yeah.
So I hear that, and I largely agree. I mean, I think that human brain is capable of doing many things at once, and very often, like I'll watch show A, and then later on I'll watch show B, and I don't need to only pick one show because I can watch many different things, different genres. So I think that's all. I mean, that makes sense. I think that the market needs to be healthy, but I think that the issue here is the economy and money. So I think that money is really tight for like a lot of folks, you and me both, I'm sure. And, you know, if I wasn't the editor of GameCritics.com, there's no way in hell I'd be able to afford to play as many games as I do. And I think a lot of people out there are really struggling from check to check. And so I think they're going to have a limited budget and they're going to be able to buy like one. I mean, I know this is weird for us because we play every game and we're just old school like that and we just do whatever. But like, I meet people and I know people who are not like in our circle, right? And they're like, I bought one game this year. I bought 2 games this year. Mm-hmm. And for that segment of people who probably are not, I mean, honestly, they're not listening to this podcast. They're not in our Discord. I mean, these folks who are just regular ass folks, I think that it's pretty likely that there's somebody right now in, what is this, like May 31st, who's like, I'm saving up my money for GTA and I'm not going to buy nothing until it gets here. And I think that's like a reality for some people, man.
I get it. And that does make sense. So it's a good counterpoint. And I do like stop and think about buying a game, especially if you have Game Pass, as long as it's last and if it doesn't go away soon, you know, that like takes away that equation a little bit. But I do think about which games I'm going to buy, not having as much money as I used to right now. But it still doesn't change because like movies are, you know, $20. You go to a movie in the movie theater and that's another similar comparison. You're like, well, I'm going to save up to see a movie, I guess, but I'm not going to not see the next movie.
But like,
yeah,
I think $20, like, so like, I know this is, maybe this is splitting
20 versus
people.
80. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the thing, right? I think a lot of people can be like, okay, yeah, I can squeeze out $10 right now, but I couldn't squeeze out 100, right? And like GTA is going to be a bunch of money, 75 at least, if not 100 or whatever they've announced for price point. It's going to be more. And so I think that sometimes is the make or break, right? Like, you know, like I think about my son who is on a limited income because he does not have a job. And you know, he can buy a game for 10 or he can get some DLC for 20. He could not buy a game for $100. And so he would have to save up for like a couple months in order to pay for the stuff he needs to pay for and have left over. So I think a lot of folks are going to, you know, it's a difference of scale. And also Game Pass is there. So paying $20 for Game Pass or, you know, anything like that. And also watching a show. I mean, you know, you pay whatever it is for Netflix, you get all that stuff. So you can watch all the genres you want on Netflix or Apple TV once you pay a subscription, but subscription is not the same as dropping like $100 for that thing. So I mean, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I think you've got a valid point, but I think the economy is real bad in America right now. A lot of people getting put out of jobs. A lot of people don't have money. And I think that is a concern.
I think both things are right. And to my original point though, because a lot of people do say it isn't about the money. Like you brought up the money point that actually makes sense. But a lot of people are saying like, no, it's because we don't think that people will play the game at the same time. Like there is that you know argument out there. Like, whoa, no, they're going to only want to be playing GTA all day. I guess my rant was about that. Like that's bullshit.
Sure.
Because if I have the money, I'm going to play 2 different types of games. Just to finish that point, like we say on the show all the time, we get in moods. You know, humans get in moods.
Very true.
And so tonight I'm in the mood for horror, so I'm going to watch Widow's Bay, and then later, you know, tomorrow I want a comedy or something, right? So that's all I'm saying.
I guess it also depends on the zeitgeist, right? Because like if your friends, not you specifically, I'm just like people in general, like if your friends, you know, your gamer group all of a sudden drops whatever they're playing and it's like, we're all on GTA right now, that's going to be pretty strong motivator for you to drop what you're doing and go do your thing too. And yeah, we'll play. We all have extra games we can play and stuff like that. But I think a lot depends on the adoption and the cool factor and your friend factor.
The FOMO friend factor is something that doesn't exist in my world. And that is like a multiplayer kind of focused thing,
but
which is true.
You're the exception because you don't do a lot of multiplayer, but a lot of people, that's their jam.
Yeah, I wouldn't say exception. I would say a demographic.
You're in that slice of the demographic. Yes,
yeah.
sure.
Why does it have to be a slice? Why do you keep making this a smaller portion of the pie?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess I haven't seen recent numbers, but
we should look that up. I know what you're saying. We should look it up.
If anybody listening, anybody listening has specific numbers about what percentage of gamers these days are mostly one player or are mostly multiplayer, or like how that shakes down, what percentage, I'd be curious because I'm sure that the multiplayer is larger than I think it is, but who knows? I don't know.
I'm going to look it up online while we talk. Okay, so let's talk about something else. What's the other thing?
You got any more housekeeping or are you good?
No, that's it. I'm done.
Okay, I got a couple things here. First up, heads up, the Gaming Pride Parade, GAYMING, Gaming Pride Parade, broadcasting Saturday, June 6th at 12 p.m. Pacific. This is an official Summer Game Fest partner community showcase. It's going to be on the Game Awards YouTube and Twitch channels. Heads up. hosted by award-winning streamer Milady Confetti and RuPaul's Drag Race star Jax. They will show LGBTQ plus games, developers, and creators during Summer Game Fest weekend. They are also receiving support from Fireshine Games, with more partners, titles, and showcase updates to be revealed ahead of time. Heads up on that. Another thing to announce, which blew me the fuck away. I never in a million years did I think we were going to get this announcement. Okay. When I saw this announcement, I thought someone was punking me, dude. I did not think it was real, except the person who said it never punks me, so I thought it must be real. But it couldn't be real because The Witcher 3 just announced a new expansion coming in 2027. Yep. Songs of the Past. What? What the fuck? I was like, were you kidding me? This is like, what, 12 years after the release of Witcher 3? Something like that?
Yeah.
Fucking bananas. It must surely... I mean, I'm trying to think of other games that have had DLC come out after that much time has passed, and I struggle to even think of one. But, dude, Carlos, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, here's why I think it happened, is because they're working on the Ciri game, the Ciri Witcher 4.
Witcher 4, yes.
And I bet you it's like real close to done at this point, in my opinion.
Witcher 4?
Witcher 4. So I feel like they have a lot of people like in that world, and they have the assets sitting there. So, you know, they're inspired. I think they got inspired by working on The Witcher 4. Oh, and they're like, we already have all this stuff made, and we never finished this one thing or something like that. Maybe they just got like inspired by their own game.
Yeah, very possible. I've heard some people say, so CounterPoint, I guess. We're doing point counterpoint today.
Okay.
CounterPoint, I've heard some people say, this is not my theory, but some people have said Witcher 4 will be delayed, and they're putting this out as a way to cash in and get some bucks to keep themselves going until Witcher 4 can get released. Because like you said, they probably have the assets laying around. They probably have some inspiration. But rather than simply being inspired, some people think it's a stopgap to get people fired back up and to keep them going until the bigger
That's
release.
Actually the real answer. That's the real answer, because it gets you, it also like fills in some story, I think.
Yeah.
That's what someone was saying. Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting. I mean, so weird, mixed feelings on this for me, because, I mean, Witcher 3 is possibly my favorite game of all time. Very possible.
Wow.
I think it's the strong contender of all time. Literally my entire life, probably had the best time playing Witcher 3. So, do I want to see more of it? Absolutely yes. That said, I haven't played this fucking game in like 12 years, dude. I don't remember where I left off. I don't remember the buttons. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know what armor I had. And to jump into a DLC like that, I mean, I hope that the developers are like, well, yeah, we didn't release this for like 12 years. So maybe there's a little brief introductory period, or maybe it's just like a standalone kind of thing that you don't need to remember where you left off. Because, brother, I don't remember fuck all about where I left that game off. So I hope it's easy to jump into, because I'll play it if it's like, yeah, you like The Witcher, just jump in and we'll just, you know, don't have to worry about your old shit and just play this game and get an experience. Yeah, okay, I'm down for that.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine it being anything other than that would be fucking suicide, but we'll see. That's just insane to me. It's insane.
I think that I feel like I would play that like closer to when Witcher 4 was coming out. You know what I mean? Like if that's what they're saying is a stopgap, then I want to know when Witcher 4 is coming out. Yeah. And like play accordingly, if that makes sense. Like,
well, I mean, maybe. I guess it depends on how long it is, because some of these DLCs for Witcher 3, the previous ones were pretty long. If this is like if it ends up being like a 20 or 30 or 40 hour experience, I would want to space it out. I don't know that I'd want to do.
Yeah. I'm not talking like the day before it.
Yeah,
but I'm saying like we don't even know like any idea when it's coming out. So if they were like, hey, it's coming out in fall of next year or whatever, then I'd be like, okay, cool, I'll play it, whatever, you know, in months.
Well, if this is coming out in 2027, they said definitively 2027. They didn't say which quarter or whatever. So if this is coming out in 2027, I mean, is Witcher 4 coming out in 2028, or do you think they're going to go for 2 in the same year?
It should be in the same year. That's ridiculous if it's not.
Well,
it's got to be. Yeah. Then that you like basically lose your conversion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, people get heated up, and then you got nothing for them to do, and then they cool back off.
Yeah, so I think they release it early 2027, and then we get Witcher 4.
All right, well, we shall see. We shall see. I only got one more piece of housekeeping here. This is a news item coming from the state of California. Great state of California. There is a bill going through the legislature. It's called the Stop Killing Games Bill. Have you heard about this, Carlos?
Yeah, I do know about this.
Okay, so good. You're up on your news. Look at you, current events.
Oh, this is actually it came out a little while ago. So yes, I'm up on it. Yeah,
excellent. For people who have not heard about it, the gist is basically whenever a developer puts out a game that is like mostly online, like something that relies upon online to be played, if they decide that they're going to shut the servers down, and if shutting the servers down will kill the game and make it unplayable, this new law says that anybody who makes a game like that has to give consumers 60 days notice before they turn off the servers, and then after that 60 days notice, they have to either patch it so that you can keep playing that game offline, or you got to give everybody a refund, which is a huge step. It has not passed the state senate. It has not become law yet, but it seems to be picking up some steam. I saw some people talking about this, and they're like, they're making the case that we've invested in this. It's a product. I think there's lots of nuance to this that maybe we're not covering right now, but I get the feeling, and I think that if developers will think about that ahead of time, maybe it'll be less of a burden in the future. But these like online only flash in the pan games that take your money and run, I get it. You feel burned and you don't want to feel burned. I mean, I sympathize, man. What's your thoughts, Carlos?
I have a perfect example of what they should do. Okay. Because so the refund's not going to happen. Sorry, I'll be pessimistic first. Refunds are not going to happen.
I didn't think so either, but go ahead.
Also, keeping the game online is not going to happen because it's server costs, so that's not going to happen. So they're going to die. Like, these games will die.
But they can make it offline.
That exactly is what I was going to say. So Scavengers, one of my favorite games of all time that I worked on. For
super fun game that I got to play for a day. And
it's never going to exist ever again. And I have a build of it, but I can't play the build. So here's what they need to do. Any game, and this is the law, okay? This goes in the bill, which isn't in the bill, by the way. So send this message to somebody who knows how to fix it. Just make the game, just take the latest build and put it online for people to download. Yeah. So you basically have an offline build you can play forever. That's very easy to do. You say in the copy, we are not responsible now that the game's done. Good luck. If you find a bug, too bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would gladly take an offline build of Scavengers. Are you kidding me?
I think we should start thinking about stuff like that. We need to start thinking about game development in a different way, and that sounds like a reasonable thing to do.
Because I worked on an online game, and we had an offline build. You know what I mean? Like so that's it. It's just take that build, throw it online, give it to people to download. There you go. Fixed it. I fixed
Solved. It. All right. We'll see what happens. It has not passed into becoming a law yet, but we'll see what happens. All right, folks. That is all the housekeeping. We got a couple more things. What you guys?
Sorry, I would say wait as I'm eating cookie. Single player games, multiplayer versus single player. There's a lot of different surveys.
Oh, did you look up the percentages?
Yeah, one of them is 53% prefer single player titles. That's like worldwide. One of them says U.S. is 65% prefer solo games.
Okay.
That's a big number.
That's a big number.
That's not a slice, like we were saying. And then it says for younger people, 16 to 24, the number goes down to 49%. So I feel like but still, that's like half.
Okay, so that's like half, roughly half and half. Okay, all right,
so it's not like in my mind either. Like 80% of young people are playing like only multiplayer. No, I think they like solo too.
All right, that's excellent. Well, that's great. That's good for me because I prefer solo and don't need those games to go away. So right on. Okay, excellent.
We'll be talking about one in this episode.
Yes, for sure. All right, folks, that is all of the housekeeping. Let's do some other stuff real quickly. Quick spotlight on GameCritics.com, sister site of this website. Just a couple reviews we published this week. If you haven't been over there, go ahead and click over and take a look. We've got some good reads. We have a review of In Their Shoes, a game about empathy and about life choices. We've got The Artisan of Glimeth, which started out as a previous puzzle game that crashed and burned and died. Those developers didn't give up, and they brought it back, and now it is a triumphant puzzle experience. We have Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered, which is a re-release of a cult hit classic, and I'm not really sure why they brought it back because I think it's not really that great of a game. And then we have Dosa Divas, which is about Southeast Asian culture and cooking and about how bringing people together through food will defeat capitalism, which is something I'm always up for hearing about. So check those out over at GameCritics.com. This week also the archive of this podcast is there as well. You can go back and I think you get almost every single episode of the show over there. Heads up, YouTube's still there, youtube.com/@GameCritics.com videos. And then, and we'll skip that for now. Okay, let's get to Circlebacks, Carlos. Folks, if you've not heard the show before, welcome. And at this point in time, we do circle backs, which means we talk about games we have covered in previous episodes. We're not going to get into all the details again, but just think of this as a quick update to let you know if our thoughts have changed on something for better or for worse after spending more time with it. Carlos, you kind of touched on Crimson Desert already. Do you want to keep going on that, or are you good on that?
Yeah, I'll just briefly say that I'm doing like quests. I beat the main campaign. I'm doing like little quests, and they're like it could go on forever. Like it's so much stuff to do. I think a few people, like literally a handful of people, have done all of the quests because there's that many. I just thought this was an interesting thing, though. Recently, I went online and was just looking at Reddit or something, and Crimson Desert stuff, and someone just had a picture of this woman, and she was like standing on top of this like pot, like this huge like I don't know pot or something in the woods, and I was like, oh, I seen her before, and they were like, hey, I smashed this pot and this lady appeared, and then she disappeared or whatever. What's this all about? And it turns out, I think, we're just guessing, is that it was a witch, because there's a lot of witches in the game that like teach you things. And if you smash the pot that she was in or that she was standing on, you never get to do her mission.
Just like fatally bugs out and you can't.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know if it's bug. I think it's like the old Fallout days where it's like if you do something, one thing is
so it's intentionally
gone.
That way.
I think it was, yeah.
Okay.
Because as soon as I saw her, I could have done anything. I could have tried to talk to her. I could have whatever. But video gamers, which is not a term actually. Video gamers. The title of the episode, Video Gamers.
Video gamers.
Yeah.
Well, it could be point, counterpoint, point.
I like that actually. Yeah. Anyways, I like to smash things right away. You know what I mean? Like, I hit things now with stick. And so I just like saw a person and I thought it was a bad person. And so I was smashing things and then she went away. And I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what that was. But I think it'd be really cool if like I don't ever get to do that now.
Well, then you just have to restart from the beginning.
Yeah, I'll never do that.
Do it over so you can do that quest. She
I
probably
just
just
think
tells
it's
you
cool.
to kill 6 rats or something.
Oh, nice. Yeah, she was like, could you just give me these herbs? I was like, lady,
and
get your own
50
herbs.
gold. Here's 50 gold in exchange.
If one more NPC asked me to get something for them, come on, people. Anyways, I love the game. I'm playing it a million hours. I'll never end. It'll never end.
All right, cool.
That's it.
The endless experience of Crimson Desert. All right, Let me
Yes.
circle back really quickly on Froggy Hates Snow, the roguelike I talked about in episode 488. And in fact, if you want a deeper dive, definitely go back to 488. I'm going to just really cover this quite quickly here. Just a heads up that I did beat the game a couple of days ago.
Oh, good.
It was kind of an anticlimax because literally nothing happened. Like there was not even a credit sequence. It was just like I beat the last level. I did 100% of all the levels. Did all the objectives. I have almost all the unlocks done, except for a couple of the unlocks have this ridiculous requirement of like level up like 50,000 times or something stupid like that. But I've got like 99% of the collectibles unlocked, and like nothing, like literally nothing happened. Not even like a thanks for playing or ribbit thanks for playing or something like that, which was a bummer. That was a bummer. But I will still say Froggy Hates Snow is fucking fun as shit. I think it's really fun, and even after beating it, I'm still playing it a couple more times. I want to see all of the unlocks. They kind of randomize because it's a roguelike, and so even if you unlock something, there's no guarantee that you're going to see it, and you can't choose it. So I unlocked the glider. There's a hang glider, and I desperately want to see the hang glider, and it hasn't come up for me yet. So I'm doing like 1 or 2 runs a day because I want to see that fucking hang glider before I am done with the experience. But like overall, what an excellent roguelike. It was very different with a focus on exploration for resources rather than combat. As I was talking to a friend of the show, Jeremiah, and he was saying it was very much like the Deep Rock Galactic. What's the one that's like a roguelike? Do you know? It's not the first person one. It's like above.
Oh, I never played it, but yeah. I know
Yeah. There's one like that where in that one they also do resources, but there's like 1,000,000% more combat in the Deep Rock Galactic one. In Froggy Hates Snow, there's only like 10 combat encounters per run, period. That's it. You're only going to fight 10 times total, which is like a fraction of what most games put you through. So it's really about an exploration and about management of heat, management of resources, coming up with good combos and builds. Maybe sometimes you want to clear some more snow, you get a snow build. Sometimes you want to fight some more, you get a combat build. Sometimes you want to do something specific. Maybe you want to like light people on fire, so you do a fire build or something. So there's like lots of choices. It's really fun with a different focus. I think the graphics are super cute. I love all the detail that goes into all of the various power-ups. Like you get a scarf, you wear the scarf, you can get these penguins to help you out, and they make fucking annoying penguin sounds when you get them. I got to take my headphones off at that point. But it's just really, really well done. It's really great. I love it. I've had so much fun. I actually, even after finishing it, I'm still playing it, and that says a lot. Because I don't fucking replay anything ever. So
yeah.
Go to episode 488 for more in depth. But I think I'm going to give you my full review since I just finished the game. I'm going to give it. So I think it deserves at least an 8 because I think it's got a great concept. It's super elegant. I love the design. I think all the bits and bobs fit together really well. It's really measured. But I will say I do feel like it needs a little bit more to it. The developer recently put out a patch which added new stuff, which is cool. But it needs stuff like more objectives. It needs like a few more surprises. It needs a few more tweaks to like the pacing of the unlocks and stuff. So I think it's an excellent experience, but it's not quite there yet. So I think it deserves an 8. But I will also say I've played the fuck out of it and I'm still playing it and I fucking love it so much. I'm going to give it a 0.5 just because I fucking can. So I'm going to give it just like an 8.5. Nice. 8.5 for Froggy Hates Snow. One of the best roguelikes I've played in a long time. One of the most different roguelikes I've played in a long time. These people fucking get it, and I got it too, and I love it. Froggy Hates Snow is a fucking great game.
Check it out for sure. Yeah, you were saying like you were addicted at some point. You were like,
yeah,
I can't stop playing this.
Oh my gosh. I still play it a couple times a day, and I've got like so many other fucking games to play, but that's the best possible complaint I could have. So definitely thumbs up.
That sounds like an 8.5 to me.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, before we get to the other games, I have to really quickly mention a couple things just to get them off my plate real quickly. First, heads up about John Carpenter's Toxic Commando. Have you heard of this one, Carlos?
I know of it.
Okay, so basically, the people behind this took the bones of what is that? What's that one Brad Pitt zombie movie where it's like what do you call it?
World War Z.
World War Z. Thank you very much. They took the World War Z game, which I played for like a long time. It was really fun. Me and my wife played it a lot. They took that and basically kind of like reskinned it and reworked it to be like a different kind of experience. You can play it single player, but it's not really that great because the AIs make dumb choice and stuff like that. But it's like a group of 4 people. They each have special abilities. You go into a zombie zone and you have a car as well. So you're managing the car. You're managing your team, you're getting resources, you're fighting a bunch of monsters, and you have like different objectives. There's a roguelike element to it, and one of the problems with World War Z was that the levels were always the same. So like once you knew like where the power-ups were, and once you knew where the zombies were going to come, you kind of just like got into a routine where you're like just like straight up grinding. But with this game, they have randomized a lot of it. So you go into like a larger area, objectives change, zombie hordes change, different tasks change. So even though you're like essentially playing the same game, like it's not the same experience every single time. You can get surprised, or maybe you have something that's a little more challenging than the last time. So I think it does a really good job of that. I haven't had time to really sink into it. And my wife has been really busy with work, so she has not been playing with me. And this is the kind of thing that I would not really want to play by myself. I want at least like one other real person with us. So I'll probably get into it later on when she has more time available. But she's been up to her neck at work. But I just want people to know about it. If you liked World War Z and you were like, I want more of that, but slightly different, I think this really nails that same formula. I think it's entertaining and good as long as you have at least one friend. I don't know that it'd be a great experience just by yourself. But overall, good stuff on that one. So thumbs up on that. Tentative thumbs up on that.
And I didn't know it came out, by the way.
Yeah, it kind of it disappeared because there's so many games out right now.
Yeah.
Carlos.
But also, I wonder what the John Carpenter part is, because I feel like I like John Carpenter.
I do too.
Do we feel like the cutscenes are more him?
I mean, maybe just the concept or something. The concept is basically like there's an exclusion zone, something happened, it's locked off from the rest of the world, and you got to go in. I mean, it seems like this could be a John Carpenter movie, but I don't feel like in a moment-to-moment sense that I'm like steeped in John Carpenter-ness, if that makes any sense.
Because he can get weird, you know? He can get creepy and weird.
He does. Like, and so for people that don't know, John Carpenter is a fucking gamer-ass gamer. He plays a shitload of video games. He is a super big-time gamer.
Yeah. You know me, I'd probably play solo just to test it.
And you could. It's playable solo. Like, I want to be clear. You can play this game by yourself. I just think, like, it's just better with other people. So,
all right.
There's that. One more thing I got to mention really quickly. It's called the Q Collection, Letter Q Collection, playing it on Switch. It's on Switch and PC. This is a super interesting one. I've never heard of it, but I guess it's been around for a while, but it never crossed my radar. Basically, it's like a whole bunch of, like, single-screen mini games where you have a challenge, and then you need to draw a shape in order to beat that challenge. So like, let's say for example, there's a cup. Like that, you start the game, it's a single screen. There's a cup that has a ball inside of it, and it's like spill the ball. And so you've got to draw something with your finger. You can draw anything you want. Draw a brick, or a shape, or a line, or a squiggle, or anything. And then as soon as you get done drawing it, gravity will pull it straight down. And if it hits the cup in the right way, the ball spills out. You solve the puzzle.
Okay.
You go on to the next one. Maybe there's a sheep that needs to be put in a corral. Maybe there's a frog that needs to jump. Maybe there's a drink that needs to be filled. Or like, there's like a million of these little like, it almost feels like WarioWare kind of like little micro games. And just using your finger is pretty fun. I've had a lot of fun with this, and I'm going through like just like making different shapes. I will say though, this game is actually way fucking harder than you expect it to be. There's a couple puzzles where I'm like, oh my God, how maybe my grasp of physics is not nearly as strong as it needs to be, but like there's a few of these puzzles that are like breaking my fucking brain. Luckily, you don't have to beat all the puzzles in a bunch. You can beat like 7 out of 10, and they'll let you go to the next section. 7 out of 10, go to the next section, because some of them are fucking just brain busters, dude. But a lot of them are also simple and fun, and I'm having actually quite a bit of fun with the Q collection. I think it's great. If you have a Switch or Switch 2, Q collection is just like, easy down. You sit down, you play 1 or 2, you bounce, you come back to it. Like, it's a great pick up and play game. So definitely thumbs up on that one.
Cool.
All right. That is the quickie section. Carlos, last time you were here, we talked about Guardians of the Galaxy. We kind of invited people to play with us. I know a couple of people jumped in. We talked about it for a little bit. I re-downloaded it. Let's talk about it now, sir. Did you go back to it?
No, I didn't, because I had played the crap out of it. I wanted you to go back.
Okay, I did.
So I'm excited to hear what you have to say, because I know that game inside and out, and I had a very special time with it. So
excellent.
I'd love to hear what your thoughts.
All right. Well, you threw down the gauntlet last week, and I took your challenge, so I did download it. I thought for sure that I owned it, but I couldn't find it. But luckily, it was available for free on PS Plus. So anybody who's got PS Plus, you can grab it for free right now, which was great. Appreciated that very much. Downloaded the whole thing and started back up. So this is third-person action featuring the Guardians of the Galaxy. It is not the film version. It is like the comic book version. They did not get the likenesses to all the actors. They're not doing their the actors' voices. So if you're familiar with the films, it's not that. It's like the comic book version. Ubisoft, I think, made this. Is that right? Does that sound right to you?
I don't remember. But
anyway,
to that point, though, like Drax, is that his name?
Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of them feel still like the
oh
movie.
Yeah.
So you won't be like, it's not like wildly different. That's all.
No. I mean, you'll definitely like the same vibe, the same tone.
Yeah.
They just like, they don't look like their movie versions. They don't sound like, but absolutely the same characters for sure. You will not be confused by this. And so third person action, you have like your team with you. You can assign them different things to do in the middle of a fight, have different like synergy powers and stuff like that. Anything else, Carlos? What else is in this game?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it feels like a movie, really. The whole game feels like just going through a movie experience. Is how I remember it.
Yeah.
And that functionality of using your team members, I thought was really, really smart. Like, they feel like they're smart to do what they need to do. And yeah, I just felt like each like new biome or whatever, like place you explore was like wildly interesting. Like, it just felt like I was searching the galaxy, and I never felt that before. Like, it felt like, oh, this is like a weird place, or like a town or a city.
Yeah.
Or literally a planet. And so I found the joy of like exploration in that game to just be, unbelievable.
Well, I started it back up. Thank you for that. Started back up, and I immediately had forgotten like what a presentation powerhouse that game is. Like, it's like over the fucking top with like the graphics and the soundtrack and the voice work, the amount of lines. I mean, the entire time I played that game, I don't think I heard a single line repeat, like not even once.
No.
And like, they always like, your entire team, they must have recorded thousands and thousands and thousands of lines, because dude, they talk all the fucking time, just like they do in the movies, and it sounds like they're having the banter and stuff. And they never fucking repeat, dude. They'll talk about shit that you do. Like, if you pick up something, Rocket Raccoon would be like, "Oh, you grabbed that, did you?" And like, I'm like, well, I mean, I did. Or if you miss a jump, he'll be like, "Ah, you klutz," or something. Like, they're constantly commenting on stuff that you're doing, which I think is pretty, unbelievable, dude. The level, just like everything about it, just like oozes $1 billion spent on like polish and shine and sparkle. So that definitely pays off, like, for sure. The music license royalty fees must have been insane, because they've got so much
great songs.
Great songs, actual songs that are licensed. It's like a bananas fucking soundtrack. So I jumped back into it, started playing it, and I'm just like, oh shit, I forgot how like good this looks and sounds. And I start playing, and I gotta be honest, dude. After a while, I was just like, it sounds crazy, but I kind of just got bored. Like I just like didn't want to play it anymore. And I think I can't even put my finger on it. I don't even really have a complaint, but it's like it looks great, it sounds great, the writing's great, the voices are great, the script is great. But something about like actually playing it, I found like the levels I felt like went on for like way too long. And I felt like a lot of them were just kind of just like walking from room to room, like shooting stuff. And I didn't feel like I did like a lot that was really super engaging. And so even though I liked all of it, like the presentation, like it was melting my face off, I just didn't get super involved in like the gameplay aspect. And I think with that being a little bit not clicking with me, I kind of just fell off after like a day.
Interesting. I mean, I kind of thought you might, just because there is, certain ways you're hardwired, like we're all wired a certain way, and you tend to get bored on things if it's like not, like you said, wildly engaging you. But I think it's not when it's not engaging you like action wise or like brain wise, because you definitely like a lot of the strategy stuff and like trying to figure things out. Or like some action that's happening. You're like, whoa, look at that. But if it's just like exploration, which that game pretty much is the whole time, then it's more Carlos Jam than Brad Jam. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But that said, that game has you hear it all the time. Give it a certain amount of hours, whatever. But something happens with everything you said, and this is good for the listeners. Everything you said is so true, that everything is so conversational. And everyone keeps talking, and it feels like a movie, in my opinion.
It really does. It really does.
After you get past a certain point, now you start getting the emotional connections. And then you start getting connected to the story part. And then something bad happens at some point, right? And you're like, fuck, right? Just remember like Final Fantasy, I don't want to spoil it, but 16, something really bad happens in that game. And you're like, what the fuck? To a main character. And you're like... I'm going to keep playing the game. Like, it just totally affects you emotionally. So that's what happens in this game. And then the resolve is beautiful. Then there's an outro after the game ends. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was just like blown away more and more near that back half of the game, because it really isn't. The game is not about fighting.
Yeah.
And you can tell that right away. And that could be boring to some. To me, it's like heaven. And so, like a perfect example, you get to a huge city at some point. It's like a cool city to just look at, and it's just madness. Like you could just like walk around and like look at things that are, like you said, are all voice acted. Tons of people in bars talking, and that's the game. But that's actually not the game. The game is this place you can go live in because you have to push the story that you're very interested in now. Yeah. And you just become more and more interested. And then some, again, like the movie, a couple big, huge kind of bad things happen. And you have to live with that. And it really does like just sit you down in the characters. And that's why I love it the most. It's like this kind of emotional impact that happens later.
Yeah. I mean, that all makes sense. I totally get that. And it's weird because as I was watching this, I was super appreciating the discussion and the characters. But like, I was like, it sounds silly, but I'm like, I would just like to watch this. Like, just have this be like a movie or something. Because I think you're right. Like the exploration in general, exploration is not really my jam in any game. Mm-hmm. And they had a lot of this, and just the moment to moment gameplay like wasn't like affecting me, wasn't really grabbing me. But I had mega appreciation for like everything else there. It was just like when I got to the walking down all these hallways and jumping from platforms and nothing really exciting was happening, and I didn't really care about finding another cluster of level up materials or whatever. I was like, these levels need to be like a quarter of the size that they are because I need to get through this quicker. It's just like that was the part that kind of made me dip out. But like I think everything else about it is really cool, and it really does feel like a movie for sure. If you want that cinematic experience and you're willing to like buckle down. I was going to say hunker down and buckle down, and I got bunker down. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, bunker down.
You're going to bunker down.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just get through it. Then I think you'll have something special there. But like you said, I think you're right. I just need to be a little bit more mentally engaged, and if I want to watch TV, I'll watch TV. So this one didn't quite click, but I mean, nothing really bad to say about it. It's just it's bonkers how good it looks and how good it sounds. So
it was I think like a 9 for me. Also I'll say these last two things. One, the liminal space feel later on, especially. You didn't get to this level, but there's a level that's like so futuristic. I'm a big fan of like future I'm a futurist.
Yeah.
I want to like live in the future right now, and I just love like other worlds and places we don't know about, and I love liminal spaces. So at some point, there's like this really futuristic place at the end, and you're like just walking around it. And for me, I'm like I could just walk around here for a while, and be happy.
Yeah.
And then they actually do make you do fighting and stuff like that. But like, yeah, that's another thing I loved. And the last thing I'll say is the comedy's really good.
It is funny. Yes, it is funny.
It gets funnier even, and you're like, this has no right to be this funny, because we always talk about this. It's hard to do comedy in games, and I think they pulled it off. So
I would agree. I think the script is great. I think the writing is great. It has so much going for it. It's just like you said. It kind of leans into that kind of like vibey exploration a little bit more than I can personally tolerate.
Yep.
But that's a me thing, and I think the game is, if it clicks with you, I think it's going to click. And they did a home run in so many other ways. So I'm not here to slag it at all. So
yeah.
All right, there we go. Guardians of the Galaxy replay. Carlos, let's keep it going here. You have been playing Luna Abyss, which is a game that I almost pulled the trigger on it. I was close. And the thing about this that made me not pull the trigger was its first person, because that's just kind of like not my favorite thing in the world. Mm-hmm. Although I do sometimes play those games. But I'm very, very curious to hear what you have to say about this one.
What are your thoughts on Doom again? I forgot if you played them.
Like the recent Doom?
Yeah, or all the Dooms, or the recent one. I played the recent one. I don't know if you did.
I played the recent one and finished it. And I'm like, okay, cool, that was a thing. And then I skipped out of the rest because I just don't care that much. I just don't enjoy them that much.
Remember the one we liked, though, that bolt gun game?
Bolt gun, Warhammer 40K bolt gun. Yeah, that was fun.
You liked that. And that was first person.
It was. I play them every once in a while. It's got to be kind of a special occasion.
Well, this might work. And I like when I talk about a thing on the show and you go, I'm going to go check it out after the show. It might happen with this, but this caught my attention early on, not from press or social media or YouTube or anything, just from like literally scrolling through the store on PlayStation and seeing the image. The image is so good, and if you look at it right now, it's just
let me look it up. I'm not going to Google it because fuck Google, but I will DuckDuckGo it.
DuckDuckGo it. Luna Abyss. The artwork immediately was like, oh, it's got a lot of vibes of a lot of different games, and also just like a cool graphic novel or something. But this woman prisoner is standing next to like a spirit lady.
Yeah, this image is wow. If you're listening, folks, just DuckDuckGo it real quick. Just duck it real quick, because this key art is fucking bonkers bananas. It did catch my attention. Yes, now that I see it, I remember.
So it caught my attention. And I was like, "What's happening?" And also, yeah, what's that game? Oh my goodness, like a BioShock kind of vibe, and somehow. And it's about a prison, too, so I don't know.
Okay.
So you play as a woman, Fox. That's her code name. I don't know if she has a real name. But she's a prisoner, and you are in a jail, in a futuristic jail on a planet, on the moon. It's a blood moon. Mm-hmm. So you're pretty much like in the middle of nowhere, like some other weird, like H.R. Geiger kind of land, really.
Yeah.
That reference. And you're just stuck there, and there's a bunch of stuff going on the planet. There's a huge infection called the Scourge, and there's this guy named the Allfather. There's stuff that you don't even need to know about. It feels almost like Elden Ring in the amount of lore that's in this game. But what caught my attention is not only just the art, but it's a first-person shooter that's narrative-driven.
Okay.
And I'm always a big fan of that because it's more about going through this weird like landscape, back to my point of Guardians, exploring. There's platforming and double jumping. You learn some new skills and stuff like that. But you are really just trying to figure stuff out, and then you do some shooting in a bullet hell style game. So think Doom meets Saros.
Okay, because like the pictures kind of look like Saros or Returnal a little bit.
Returnal Saros with the fact that enemies shoot bullets at you in different patterns. And then there's also, you shoot your gun and stuff like that. Now, the biggest thing, because it is really focused on this like vibe, atmosphere, and story that's weird, is that you can put on crazy modifiers for auto aim. So I literally turned everything on, like the highest level.
Is this like in the settings, or is this like a feature like an upgrade?
It's a settings. It's a settings.
Settings. Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So as soon as I started, I knew it was bullet hell and it's gonna be tough, and I didn't want to be like, just like screaming at the screen like Saros or something. So I didn't play that yet, but Returnal. And so the auto aim it's still difficult because you still have to run around and jump and dodge things, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But just not worrying about aiming, it makes the game so fun and so relaxing, and you feel like a badass, which I love doing in games. And you still, again, have to switch weapons. Like one weapon will break a shield, one weapon won't, so you got to switch back and forth. You got a lot of different weapons, one more like a shotgun, etc. But you're like running, platforming, and jumping, so you don't want to be worrying about aiming. And so what I think they did with the auto aim here is they created almost a new FPS genre, in my opinion. It's mixing Returnal, which has already created that genre, a bullet hell, shooter.
Yeah.
But more like a platformy. But just not worrying about aiming, just like going in the general direction, and it just auto like attacks, basically.
Okay. Does it feel a little bit like a Survivor's like in that sense with the auto attacking?
Survivor's like.
Like how they just auto attack and all you got to worry about is maneuvering your character, but the character itself auto attacks. Vampire Survivors or something like that. Oh,
Vampire Survivors. No, you're not auto attacking. You're still hitting the button.
Okay.
But I'm saying it's auto aiming. So that like really does a lot. So basically you're going like this one. It's like it's auto aiming immediately in this vicinity of where your gun is. But you're still pulling the trigger. So that makes sense, right? You're not just like walking around. And yeah, you got to switch guns. You got to like pick power-ups. You got to hit a shield when you want to hit a shield. So there's a lot of challenge to be had. But I just say that they made me so much fall back in love with first-person shooting because I wasn't like just missing all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that is like what stops a lot of people from playing those games because you just are eating shit. You're getting hit all the time. And then you're not hitting enough things,
Right.
And so in this one, I just feel like I'm just a badass. So, but the real point of the story is, or that this game is, it's liminal spaces. So when you're not doing shooting, you're just exploring this huge prison. But it's not only a prison; it's like platforming weird, like just areas that don't make any sense. Like literally don't know how they ever got made, kind of places. Like huge like hallways. And
is it like open world? You can roam anywhere, or is it like level by level, or like what is like the overall flow?
Yeah, open section, open like section, and not very open actually. It's really like a linear story.
Metroidvania type, or just more of like action game type?
Just go straight forward and like figure out what's going on. Okay. And by the way, the crux of this story is that you're trying to like reduce your sentence as well because you have like 9,000 days in this place. And so everything you do for like the missions is like you reduce the days that you're supposed to be in the prison.
Gotcha.
So, but really it's about this learning of this world, learning about these like characters, and it's got like a Tim Burton like Inside vibe. So like the characters are very unusual looking and funny and weird. And you like find some character and you're like, oh, I gotta go kill this. It's a boss. Oh no, it's someone I have to talk to. And they have like stories about the land and stuff like that. I think I'm doing a bad job of explaining it as I hear myself, but it's a single player story driven game, right? So it's really just a story driven first person shooter, which I don't know how many we have of those. Yeah. And bullet hell.
Well, I was interested. Like I said, I almost pulled the trigger on this. If it had been third person, I definitely would have. But like, I got to be careful with first person because honestly, it's just not my favorite thing in the world. So, and that's just
did you like
Saros? I did not play Saros, but I did play Returnal, and I finished Returnal.
Yeah,
I liked it. I liked it okay. I was tempted by Saros because I do enjoy the gameplay, if not the story, but probably not the story. And this kind of looked like a first person one of those, so I was like maybe, but. I don't know. I'll check it out again. And you're on PlayStation?
I'm on PlayStation, and I think that and there's this warp ability that you have to like you warp everywhere and you can possess different things. They just keep adding like, abilities as you play. But I was just so taken by how it made me not be afraid of a bullet hell kind of game, right? Because I felt strong. Mm-hmm. And all the shooting just felt so fun and relaxing. Like I know these games don't relax me ever, Yeah,
I don't associate relaxation with first-person shooters like ever, but
I just felt so good. Yeah, with the auto aiming, I felt relaxed, and I'm like more focused on the story. So I like the characters, I like the world. I think it's a weird game, and I think there's nothing like it. So
Do you remember how much it was going for?
I think it was only $20 when I bought it.
All right, that's not too bad.
20 or $30, yeah.
That's gamble worthy, I think. So, all right, cool. All right, I'll check it out when I get off this podcast.
I don't think I
Maybe
sold
give it a
you,
shot.
and that's fine. But
I'm not 100% sold, but you're
yeah.
going to get me to watch the trailer again. So
Watch the
that's
trailer
something.
again. Okay,
So,
yeah.
All right, let me talk for a minute about Bubsy 4D. Carlos, do you remember Bubsy the Bobcat?
I like how we
do.
surprise each other with some of the games. I know Bubsy. I know 4D. I have not played it. I did not know you played it.
Yes, I played this game. So Bubsy the Bobcat, originally like a 16-bit mascot from back in like the SNES Genesis days, trying to, follow the train of people like Mario and Sonic and stuff like that. Platformer and character-heavy platformers, that was definitely a thing. That was a vibe back then. Not so much these days.
And classically, one of the worst games ever made is Bubsy 3D.
Yes,
which was the joke meme of that game.
Exactly. Like it was Bubsy, I don't think has ever really been a good game. I don't think so. I played some of the older ones, I believe, and I remember at the time thinking they were just like whatever, trash, move on. So I was surprised to see this one come out that do people have emotional attachment to Bubsy? Does anybody care about Bubsy?
No, I think it's about the meme more than anything. So like the originals were like just regular ass platformers, but 3D was so bad because you couldn't even play it. Like you couldn't figure out where you were standing. It was the time period, the graphics and stuff. So I think it's, if anything, people remember as a meme. That's like,
not something where I'm like, oh yes, remember that meme about the game that like fucked itself so hard that like we couldn't even play it? Let's cash in on that. Like, doesn't make sense. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter because this game is here regardless of what I think about it. So, Bubsy 4D. I will say it is a third-person action platformer, 3D platformer. I'm not sure where the 4D comes in, but you definitely have like your regular 3 dimensions. It's
real quick. Sorry, so 4D
yeah.
is the whole joke on the 3D. That's why it's 4D. See?
I guess.
No, not I guess. That's what they said. Like they were like, we're gonna like lean in on the fact that 3D sucks so bad. We're gonna call this 4D. That's the reason.
I mean, good call, developers. Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to clarify.
Just like it just yes.
You're like
yes.
It doesn't change anything, Carlos, at all.
They don't make a big deal out of it in the game itself. So if you're not reading the PR, then it doesn't really land. But like they don't really talk about. And what I saw anyway, they weren't talking about 4D in any sense of the word. It was just the title. So anyway, you're a bobcat. You've got some bobcat friends and family. Aliens come down and do whatever shenanigans, and they want you to go and fix things by platforming and collecting items and getting power-ups and stuff like that. If you know, like 3D platformers, I mean, it is one of those for sure. Now, I will say, I think it's Atari who's behind this. They were smart because they got a indie developer. I don't know if it's one person or studio called Fabraz, Fabraz. They have made 2 games. One of them's called Demon Tides, and the other one's called Demon something, and they're like sequels. Those have been really, really, really well received 3D platformers. And so whoever it was at Atari did a really smart thing and tapped this person or studio, I apologize, I don't know which, to make Bubsy. And so like this is already the best Bubsy game that's ever been made. So because it's a good game. It's legit. It's a good game. If you like hopping and bopping, running, platforming, collecting stuff, upgrades, like traditional third-person platforming action, 3D action, this is what it is. Like they do a great job of doing that. I think so it works. It's fun to play. I've had my reviewer at Game Critic said it's very short. I think they finished it in like 5 hours or 4 hours or something.
Oh, that
like
is
that.
short.
So pretty short, but what you play is pretty good. I had fun playing it. I didn't finish it. I just played maybe half of it, and I got the gist of it. Had to move on to something else. But you climb up stuff. You can turn into a ball and roll. You can jump. You have some cartoony moves. In fact, there's a move in there where when you go off a platform, your feet kind of go real fast before you fall, like Wile E. Coyote. I think they even call it Coyote Time, honestly. So they have little in-jokes like that. They talk about the tank controls or something. They're like, oh, why would you ever want to do that? And they have a little comedy that references some of the older Bubsy games, which I think is fun. So I think that's all really good. And I think it's just a very well put together, straightforward kind of 3D action platformer. So if you want one of those and you like to collect stuff and jump on platforms, I mean, I think it checks all the boxes. And I don't mean this to be backhanded compliment, but considering how bad all of the other Bubsy games were, the fact that somebody finally made a good one is kind of a big deal. So I feel like this is a good one. So if you like Bubsy, you have any feelings about Bubsy, and you want to get into something like that, I think it works. I will say real quickly though, kudos. There's a lot of settings you can change around, which I think is great. But I will say I did have some camera issues. Specifically, like when I was the ball, Bubsy can turn into a ball and he like rolls down like Super Monkey Ball or something. Like he rolls down these gutters. Sometimes I had a few camera issues with that, and sometimes I had a little bit of a hard time seeing where I was. But there's a setting for that, so I think it's the best Bubsy. The best Bubsy. I mean, is the best Bubsy as good as like a mediocre Mario? I don't know. It's hard to say. But I think Fabraz does the best they can with what they have, and I think they did a great job. So I hate to sound negative, not trying to sound negative, but like it is what it looks like. And if you're in the mood for one of those, that's what you get.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's the best version of Bubsy. Yeah, I mean, if anything, we all like either didn't remember it or remembered
Didn't
it
not
not positively. Yeah, so
yes,
but
yes.
it is weird that they would have any camera angles because the whole 3D meme is that the camera angles were terrible. So you would think that they would have fixed all that,
and they didn't quite. But it was fine. I mean, it was largely fine. It wasn't like game breaking or anything. So yeah, I mean, hey, best Bubsy game ever. There you go. That's a fact. So
and on the Bubsy tip, real quick, did we ever talk about on the show? But new Super Lucky's Tale.
We have talked about it, and I have played it. I think the wife really got into those as well. Those are pretty decent too.
Very decent. You know what I mean? Like solid platforming fun.
That's exactly what it is, right? It's like it's a solid ass game. It doesn't light the world on fire. You probably are not going to like run and tell your friends in an excited voice about how great it was, but you had a good time playing it, and it was fine, and it did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be in your top 10. You're probably not going to remember it in December, but it was still good, and that's kind of how I feel about Bubsy. So
yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right, Carlos, over to you for a game that a lot of fucking people are talking about right now. Mina the Hollower. This is coming from Yacht Club Games, the people behind Shovel Knight, the whole Shovel Knight empire, which almost every single one of those games is pretty fantastic. I'm definitely a Shovel Knight fan, but this is their new jam, Mina the Hollower. Carlos, tell us all about it.
You're a mouse, and it's like Zelda, but it's like also Dark Souls. That's it. It's a 9.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. 9 mice out of 10. No, yeah, it's like Dark Souls meets a Game Boy game meets Zelda. And that's the kind of thing. Like you pick new weapons. You pick a weapon style in the beginning, like Dark Souls, right? Like blades or whip or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then you can find weapons later on. That's a Dark Souls thing. There's bosses. There's an open world, believe it or not, even though it looks like a Game Boy game. It's open, and you can kind of go wherever you want to go do whatever you want, and go to towns and talk to people and find secrets, and then find an eventual boss. And basically you have to turn back on these generators, and you're a mouse, and you're in a town, and you have to turn on these generators because you created the generators. I don't really get why. You guess you did. And now you have to go turn them back on for reasons. And each one is pretty much a boss, right? Like 6 different areas, 6 different biomes.
Yeah.
And so it's very standard in that way. But what's really special about it is 2 things. One, it's marrying the idea of an old school game with new school sensibilities. Like when you move around, it's like analog control. It's not like 1-for-1 digital pad, like up and down. It's like move around like an analog stick, right? So that, and then the jumping and feels really like you can jump diagonally. It feels more modern in the way it controls, even though it looks very simple, and the controls are pretty simple, but. So you kind of run around and fight things and talk to people and find secrets. It's that classic like Zelda or something where it feels huge because each game or each screen is, you change screens, if that makes sense, right? So when you go to the right, you go to a new screen
by screen movement, like old school Zelda,
like old school
16-bit Zelda or something,
which almost made it feel bigger, because you're like, oh, what's up here? What's up there? And so, you kind of start the game coming back to town as this mouse who, I guess, created these generators. You got to turn it back on. There's a mayor, some sort of president, mayor person, and he's telling you that things are fine. You got to go help and do this thing and turn these generators back on. But there's monsters everywhere, of course. And you're like trying to say like, hey, I think we have to fight these monsters. And so you go out into the world, and as soon as you go out into the world, there's all these different screen by screen, puzzles and stuff. So there's a little thing you've got to figure out how to get the key. And so there's like puzzles and things to break and things like that. Okay, and the other piece that's cool is that you are the Hollowers, which means you can go underground. So you could just hit a button and you go underground, and while you're underground, you can stay there. So you're like burrowing under the ground. And then you can pop back up. And why that's cool is it's like a dodge for enemies. So you're fighting a boss or just regular monsters. You go under the ground, they're missing you because they can't hit you under there, and you pop back up and hit them.
Is it like you're basically invulnerable, or can some people still hit you down there?
No, you're invulnerable. I think you can get hit by traps down there. I feel like I got hit by like an environment thing once. And you can fall because there's pits. So like you can like do your little burrow and then you come back out and you're like in a pit and you fall. So there's like environment stuff like spikes, and I feel like a bunch of stuff that would be in a Nintendo game. You know how we like worried about like the environment? I feel like a lot in Nintendo games.
Sure. Because it's super hostile, yeah.
Yeah, it's super hostile, and it's like, that's what they used for like the enemies. It was not just the enemies. It was like, try to get over this thing, So, top-down view, if I didn't mention. So like old school Zelda. And the other thing that I wanted to mention, I should say that I like it. But
I was going to say, I wasn't really sure how you felt about it so far.
Here's the vibe, and here's why I like it. So it's trying to be a Dark Souls game with a Game Boy game, and that's the vibe in Zelda. And it wants to be really, really hard and punishing because it does some of that thing like you're hitting something and you got to get past this like area, and this flying thing is shooting bullets at you, out of its mouth. And as soon as you jump on the platform, it hits you with a bullet and you fall in the pit, which feels like a Dark Souls thing. So they're doing that, and they're making the bosses really tough and stuff like that. But you can go to the modifiers. And the modifiers in this game are so cool because they have, I would definitely say, a plethora. There is, I don't know, maybe 100. And
Jesus. Are you serious?
Yeah. So one of them is you can just go, hey, just put this on assist mode. And so it'll auto change like 7 things. And what those 7 things might be is like, take a little less damage. The game world moves a little slower than you do. Your floaty jump, I kept a floaty jump on. So instead of just jumping once and like landing immediately, like an old school Nintendo game, you jump and then float for a little while, which gives you a lot more control. So you can just turn on like that, like help me out. And then you kind of just play the game. Or you can like fine tune it to be like, okay, make the bosses easier because this is, I wanted to have a fun time and whatever. Or do this and do that. And then there's like harder ones, so you can turn it harder if you want.
You
and
need
then
to stop talking now. Yeah.
What?
I don't want to hear about harder.
Okay, yeah. No. So we didn't turn those on. And then the other one is just weirder. So like there's one that just makes the character bigger, or like all the kind of things we talked about last episode where
like cheat codes and stuff.
Cheat codes, yeah. So some feel like cheat codes, some feel like just assist, and some feel like difficult. But what is so great about the game is it's a cool idea to think about, like you and I in the 80s or something, if this game came out, right? And it was like, what, Dark Souls? Like, we never played a Dark Souls game. So, like, bosses, the world feels open, yet it feels like a Nintendo game. So that's reason one why I like it, because it feels like that. But the reason, two, is these modifiers. I literally am playing the game that I want to play. They have made all the bones. The puzzles are still the same. There's a lot of world to explore. There's funny writing. And there's bosses that are fun to fight. But I can modify it to be like, it's just a relaxing time for me. Like, I'm not too worried. And if a perfect example is this. One of the modifiers is you don't lose the souls, their bones in this game. But that bullshit about losing shit when you die. Just turn that off, okay? Just turn it off. Another one is like when you fall in a pit, which you fall in a pit all the time. Like the original version was like it hurts you, or like, you lose life or you lose something. I just made that nothing happens. Right?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Nothing happens. And so that makes the fucking experience great because you're like, okay, now I can try things. Now I can like work around. I mean, you could argue that why did you not just make the game that way? and why is it a modifier? But maybe, we've said it before. A lot of people like really difficult things.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. I mean, I can understand why they would make it a modifier, because if they had the basic settings like that, they'd be taking shit from people who want like the hardest possible experience. I think Mike Susky, friend of the show and sometimes Game Critics writer, he's talking about this game now. I believe he's playing with no modifiers, so he's playing like the vanilla hardcore version. But most people I'm talking to have used many of the modifiers. I think the base level experience of this game, like you said, is pretty punishing, and so I think most people are noping out of that and using some of the options. But that's the right choice. I have not played this game. I will say that I played the demo when it came out last year, I think, and I noped the fuck out of it. I was like, nope, I don't. This is too hard. I don't like the way this plays. It feels weird. And to be perfectly frank, I don't like the graphics. I don't like this like Game Boy style. I have no desire to go back to that era. I don't like the way it looks. The graphics do not appeal to me. I find it hard to read even sometimes in some of these sections. But I noped the fuck out. But that aside, I do want to give huge props to Yacht Club Games, because that's what you do. That is how you make this fucking game, is like you make it hard, make the game that you want to make, but then you put all these optional modifiers here so that people like you or other people in the Discord or people over at Gaming in the Wild or whatever can change it to whatever settings they want, and they have a good experience as well. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that is 100% the right choice, and I absolutely applaud Yacht Club for doing it like that.
And I don't know many games. This is why it really is my standout feature of this game. I don't know many games that put so many in that change the game in such a huge way. A
lot of them sound very drastic. Yeah,
they are. They're very. I mean, one is the most drastic, which I will not turn on. But it's just like make bosses easier. Like maybe like I get stuck at the last boss, I could turn it on or something.
Sure.
But like the small minutia, the small little ones, you can feel how the game is changing. I will go back to my original argument and say, like, you could have made it easier and then made the modifiers for the harder, and been like, hey, everybody. But maybe that's not what they like, because, they made Shovel Knight. So Shovel Knight's pretty difficult.
I think there's a psychological aspect to that. I don't know if anybody's done research on that, but I bet you, I'd be willing to bet money that there is a psychological difference between this game is easy and I made it harder for myself optionally, as opposed to this game is really hard at first and I made it easier for myself optionally. Yeah. Those two things are functionally the same, but I'll bet you they don't hit people the same way. And I think most people would prefer... I think most assholes probably would prefer...
Yeah, you can't say most people, but yeah.
Yeah. I think a certain aspect of people would be willing to play a game that is really fucking hard, but some would not want to play something that is really easy, even if you could go both ways and make it easier or harder. So if anybody's out there, psychological researcher, game theory person, check that out, because I think there's something there.
I just want to reiterate the game style real quick before, because I don't know if I did it right, because today my words aren't saying words right. But yeah, like I said before, it's top-down Zelda screen by screen. But what's so fun about it is truly like an old school, new school meet, because you can go anywhere. I went to town for a while and just talked to a bunch of people, did the classic thing of like going in houses and like smashing all their stuff to find all the bones and stuff like that. Bones are like the currency. Sure. And then also there's upgrading. So I feel like I'm playing like a Game Boy version of a Elden Ring Souls game, because I'm upgrading my attack, every chance I get. And I've made some of the modifiers allow me to get XP faster, right? So why the fuck not? And
why not?
Yeah, and then I'm finding new weapons, and then I took on my first boss, and I beat it, and it was a little challenging, but I used my burrowing power, and I was like, I'm having a good time. Like,
all right.
I think it's like a solid 8 or something. It could knock up even farther if I like beat it. I don't know. I just think it's really fun and innovative. Innovative?
You got British there for a second.
Oh, that's how they say it. Innovative. Yeah. How do we Americans say it again? Innovative?
Innovative.
But it's actually I can't do it now.
Innovative.
Good. I'm not trying to do that again.
Mina the Hollower, folks.
Mina the Hollower. Check it out. I think it's really cool and interesting.
We'll circle back to it, I'm sure. And like it seems like everybody and their brother is playing it right now, so it's certainly made a splash. And good on Yacht Club. I think they've made a lot of really really fucking cool games in the Shovel Knight series, and I'm a fan of those. So happy to see them putting this out finally at long last. So we'll circle back on it for sure. All right, let me talk for a minute about Wall World 2. This one kind of came out of nowhere for me. And I am familiar with the first one. Did you ever play the first Wall World, Carlos?
I'm looking it up because I don't remember that name.
Basically, it's kind of like a sci-fi game. And I think I love the premise of this game a lot, where you're in this world where your entire world is a vertical surface. That's pretty wild already. Just starting from that premise, that's a pretty crazy thing. So you have this mech spider ship that kind of crawls up and down the wall. And then as you go up and down the wall, you can drill into the wall, and then you can get out of your ship as a little guy who like drills stuff. You collect resources, dig through the ground, look for stuff, go back to your ship, fight some monsters, because they'll fly from space and attack you, or they'll crawl down the wall or up the wall to come get you. So you defend your ship, keep going, dig another mine, go inside the mine, get some resources, come back out, and just kind of do that. So that was like the gist of this experience. I did like Wall World number 1, but the thing that really kind of like bummed me out about it was that it had roguelike elements to it, where it did have a story, very, very slow and unfolding, but there was a story there. And ultimately it's a cool story because when you play Wall World 2, they go, hey, you can push this button in the menu and here's the story so far. And I'm like, okay, cool. That was a cool story. I dug it. But in this game, they changed certain things around. You have a home base that you go to, which was not in the previous game. You can go to like a shop and get some upgrades for yourself and for your ship and stuff like that. There's also like a little lab where you can upgrade your ship even further. And then they'll take you out to these different areas. You have like different sections to go to. Before you did not have those choices. Now you have a choice, which is pretty cool. So I think the same basic concept of climb up the wall, dig a mine, grab some stuff, go back to your ship when people attack, keep digging, and then bounce is a good cycle. But I will say I have kind of the same problem with Wall World 2 as I did with number 1, in that I just don't fucking think that roguelike is where this game should be. So what happens is you'll go out, and in the story they even justify it. They're like, hey, we're going to bring you to this level, but your ship is super heavy, so we got to take all your power-ups off, otherwise we can't fly you out there. And that's just an excuse to like strip your ship down to basically nothing every single time you go on a mission, which sucks because I will say that this game is slow. It's really slow. And that's fine when you're just starting out. Like you get a naked ship, you got no upgrades. Your guy has no upgrades. He walks slow. He digs through the mine slow. The thing shoots slow. Like that's fine. But like once you upgrade those things a few times, you go back, your mission's over, or you die. Either way, you go back to the hub, you come back out to do the next level. You're slow again. It's like, no, dude. Yeah. It's like you got to get the same upgrades. Like I get the same machine gun shoots 35% faster every single time. I get the same, your guy walks 20% faster every single time. I'm like, no, dude.
That sucks.
Like, yeah, it sucks because I think this is a really cool idea. I love the sci-fi concept. I think the graphics, pixel graphics, 2D pixel graphics are great. I think the spider ship looks cool. I like the idea of fighting on a wall. That's a great thing. Like everything about this game really works for me, except getting knocked the fuck back down to nothing. And I just don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it works.
Yeah.
Because you have to get the same power-ups all the time. You go back to zero every single time. And it just feels like a pointless time tax and a pointless grind. And you're getting the same things over and over. I would just really prefer if you've got these upgrades, and they could change it, like scale the economy, scale the skill tree, make it different, make it a game's worth. I mean, let's face it, lots of games put you on permanent upgrades. Like once you get an upgrade, you don't go backwards. Loads of games do that. A million games do that. It's not a new concept. So I think they could do it here too, where if I get an upgrade to my machine gun, just fucking let me keep it. I get upgrade to my guy, just let me fucking keep it, okay?
Yeah.
Like that's really my problem with it.
And it feels like I'm just looking at the graphics. It feels like that would be kind of a cozy experience if you could keep it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think there's a reason you can't keep it. It's just like strictly a development or a designer choice, and I just don't fucking think it works. And so I really want to play this game, but after a day of like do a mission, go back, and then get the same fucking power-ups all the time, it just drives me up the fucking wall that I take those steps backwards for no real reason. You're just making me take longer, repeat the same actions, re-get the same power-ups. It doesn't really add anything to the experience, and in fact, it takes a lot away.
Yeah.
And so I bounced off it, but like, man, there's so much going for Wall World that I think it's so cool. I just wish they didn't do that. So I'm sure the developer disagrees. I'm sure they probably have thought this through. Maybe they know something I don't. But just from my personal perspective, if they let you keep your power-ups and just escalate it like a regular game, like like any game where you keep your power-ups and escalated it that way, I'd be back in like 100% no problem. But the way it is, I just can't do it.
It sounds like they need some Mina the Hollower modifiers.
If there was modifiers, I would modify the fuck out of this because I want to like it. I do like it. I want to play this.
Yeah.
I just can't justify wasting my life, my literal time on Earth, by re-getting these power-ups that I've already gotten a bunch of times. Like the 5th time you buy the machine gun shoots 35% faster. I'm out. I'm out. I don't want to buy it anymore. I'm done.
I'm out hearing about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That is Wall World 2. Other than that grind, I like it a lot. So buyer beware. And this brings us, Carlos, to the big and final game of the show. Another big one, but oddly, I don't see people talking as much about as compared to Mina the Hollower. I think Mina's got the zeitgeist right now, but this is also a huge game in my circles anyway.
Zeitgeist on YouTube, it's freaking everywhere right now. It's actually more than Mina on YouTube, really.
I believe it. But in my personal circles, it's Mina. But in this segment, we're going to talk about the brand new huge game from IO Interactive, 007 Last Light. And actually, I surprised you at the beginning of the show, Carlos, because you didn't know I was playing this, but I am actually playing this now. So we can both talk about it.
It's so crazy.
Carlos,
that's
take
the
it
fun
away,
about
though.
the show. Really? Okay. My words are bad today, so if you're going to have me
you're
do
fine.
the
You
setup.
got words. You're good.
Well, it's generally like Uncharted meets Hitman. So there you go.
There you go.
And
Done.
I'm not going to do a score right now, but that's the whole review, and we can move on to the next game. Or, no, it really is both of those things in such a literal way. As I'm pretty far in the game. I think chapter 6. I don't know how many chapters.
Oh, you're
there
pretty
are.
far then. You're pretty far.
Yeah, I really kind of. Oh, and as you can watch on Glitch to the Ground, I've been making a lot of really ridiculous videos because similar to Hitman, you can do funny things. And if you didn't know you could, it really does feel like a story-driven game, which it is. But if you muck about like similar to Hitman, you can do some things you're not supposed to do, or that the developers built in there. But a good example is one you get a lot of like gadgets in this game because it's a James Bond game, and I found one that changes my voice, and so I just hit that button and said, "Hey, change my voice," and then it had a scripted thing where I made a funny voice of the boss, and I was like, "Hey, you two are fired. Get out of here. Pack up your desks." And they're like, "Hey, Bond, stop it. Stop being a jerk." So I was a jerk a lot in this game. But yeah, the game is James Bond initial like origin story. And it's also, so it's a story-driven game first, I would say. It has Hitman elements, like literal elements of like, hey, go do this, find these people in this space. I'm playing a Hitman game all of a sudden, do distractions, get past guards. I'm playing Hitman. And then it literally jumps around a corner and you're Uncharted. You're playing Uncharted. Explosions are everywhere. You're shooting 1 million people. I always have a problem with that with Uncharted. It's like he's a mass murderer. And
One of the greatest monsters to ever walk the earth.
He really is. And you are in this game too because you really kill a lot of people. And then it has these, scripted moments that I think are really good with explosions. Hit this thing, climb on this thing. This thing just fell over because everything always falls over in Uncharted. And so, I correct me if I'm wrong, but it really does feel like a marrying of those two games.
Oh yeah, like 1 billion%. It is those two games mushed together
Mushed together, and almost unnaturally mushed together. I want to say, because like the very first thing you do is a Hitman level, like literally, like go find these people, do a Hitman game. You and I have played all the Hitman games.
Yes, I love Hitman. Yes, for sure.
And then it jumps to an emotional bit. Right. And you're like, whoa, why am I getting emotional? This is like this again, a sad thing happens. And then you're like living this world and then you're like caring about these characters, at least I was. And then it's really story driven. And then it's fighting, which by the way, I'll go back to Uncharted, but there's a lot of punching in this game too, and not just shooting. And then there's like bribing and like, what's it called? Not bribing. When you're like
Bluffing.
trying to, bluffing people and stuff, and so it's really mixing the genres together. And I'll say this last thing, and I'll let you go. Is I think and this has definitely been talked about on YouTube a lot, but I think they did a very good, if not the best, tutorial, because they made the tutorial a montage like you'd see in a movie.
Yes.
And they just keep going through it quickly because it is a montage that you would like watch on a TV show or something, and you're doing all the moves. And so you really quickly get the understanding of how to, control the character. I think that was really brilliant. So that's some of my early thoughts. What about you?
Yeah. So just a quick background. I'm a huge Hitman fan. I love the Hitman series. I've played like every single Hitman game, and we did Corey and I back in the day. We did like a 4-hour like recap of the entire series. We talked about like every episode and every installment of it, and so I'm on the record as being a major Hitman fan. So for me, I feel like this game kind of falls in an awkward territory because I'm not really the biggest fan of Uncharted. I think those games are really boring.
Yeah.
Where it's just like cutscene and set piece, and they kind of like auto scroll you to the next thing, which is like the antithesis of Hitman, where Hitman is like strategize, take in all the information, do the things that you want to do, poke around the corners and try to find what you can find out and have these different strategies. So I see what they're doing, and it makes sense to me that they would try to put those two things together. But it just doesn't work for me. I'm actually not having fun with this game like at all.
I could tell that as soon as you started like just talking about it. Yes.
Yeah, I do think it is exactly the midpoint between those things, but I don't think it quite works. Let's talk about the good things first. I think the graphics are great. I like IO Interactive quite a bit. I hope that this is a success for them. I do agree. Well, I 75% agree with you that the training montage was pretty brilliant. It's flashy. This game is very cinematic. Yeah. It feels like you are playing an actual movie, like in the way the shots are handled, the way they do cuts between scenes. Like it is like you're playing a movie. And I think that's awesome. Presentation's really good. I will say though that I didn't get the proper learn the moves during the montage. Like you go through them so quickly. I think the one that bothered me the most was the fighting, because there's actually a lot of nuance to the fighting between the different counters and the grabs and stuff like that. I really wanted more time to spend on the fighting. And I think you can go back at some point and do those again or do them more detailed, but whatever. So I felt like a little shortchanged about the fighting, but it is a very cool thing that I don't think I've ever seen before done in a game, which is pretty amazing. They've really thought cinematically about the whole thing, and I think that's appropriate, and it makes a lot of sense. But the other part of the experience is like I feel that this game is very slow. I don't know how. Okay, so just no spoilers or anything, Carlos, but I'm at the part of the game where you are at the auction. If to say no more about that, how much further are you past the auction?
Was the auction for that plane thing?
You're in a big fancy room,
and there's lie detectors.
I haven't finished the level yet. It's like James is the chauffeur in this level, and he bitches about it a lot. He's like, I don't want to be the chauffeur.
Oh my goodness, you're at the very beginning. No, I thought it was somewhere else. Yeah.
Okay, so that I'm pretty early in, and you're much further than that.
Yes, it gets like wildly Uncharted after that.
Okay, that doesn't sound like a selling point to me, but that's okay.
No, I know it doesn't. Yeah.
So like, I'm just like, I feel like seeing this game, I mean, it's impossible for me to not compare it to Hitman, because this is the same developer. A lot of it feels the same. A lot of the same bones are here, but they're doing something very different with it. And so I feel like I'm kind of struggling because I am bumping up against, like, I want to do certain things that I can't do.
Yeah.
And it feels like sometimes it's on rails, but it's not on rails enough. And sometimes they give you a little freedom, but it's not enough freedom. And I feel like it's in this middle ground where it doesn't work. I'll give you a perfect example. So I'm in the auction level, which is pretty early on, and you get there, and it starts out like a Hitman level would start. Like you're outside the grounds, you're looking around, but the radar function doesn't work the same way. You don't have the same information. That's okay. That's fine. But they want you to sneak into this big house, right? And they give you these tools. And so I'm going up to a place where I can sneak in, and you have like the poison dart shooter lays on your phone or something like that, right? You can poison people with darts.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking around and I go, okay, well, here's a place that I'd like to try. Let me shoot this guy and he'll get sick from my poison dart and he'll leave. And then I'll have this place to myself. Can't shoot the guy. You cannot shoot just anyone in this game. And I'm like, oh, I can only shoot certain people? Okay, that feels really weird, because then I can't try this thing that I wanted to try. Mm-hmm. I got to be on rails now. So I'm like, okay, that sucks, because my idea didn't work because they don't let you do that. Sometimes I got to, I got inside the house, and I'm sneaking around backstage, and I've already been yelled at one time. The guy's like, you don't belong back here. Get out of here. And I'm like, okay, sorry. And so there's a bunch of boxes that I can crouch down behind, but they don't want you to crouch at this point. And I can't crouch. It doesn't work. Can't duck. And so I can't sneak past this guy. And I'm like, okay, that's stupid. One other part is like I get inside the house and I'm on the top floor. I crawl up onto the drain pipes and I get inside a window and I'm like, okay, I don't really know where I am. I'm a little bit lost right now. I want to go back to maybe a different part of the house and try a different entryway. And I can't. You literally cannot go back like the way you came, because like you got far enough in that they're like, no, you got to move forward now. But I'm like, no, I want to go back. And what happens is if you turn back around and go back, he goes, I don't want to explore there now. And it forces you to turn around.
That sounds like a bug. That sounds like a Brad bug, because that's not
I don't
possible.
know. I mean, there was a voiceover for it though. Like he said, I don't want to explore there right now. And so it turned me back around. And I'm like, okay, what the fuck? So I feel like it's, and I'm like, okay, cool. Then if we're going to do Uncharted, let's do Uncharted. Like, just get me to the place and let me do the thing. Don't have me wandering around because you clearly only want me to do these certain things. Or give me more freedom because there's a lot of stuff that I'd like to try, but I can't really quite do it. You can't hide bodies. You can't like knock out everybody. There's a butler that I wanted to get out of the way, and you can't do anything. You can shoot him with a dart, but you can't knock him out. So it's like with like your fists or whatever. So I'm like, okay, like I keep having this like stop and start and frustration, and I feel like you've trained me a certain way, and now you're doing something different, and my brain is having trouble getting on board, and I just feel like it's just not working for me.
So I have a lot to say on that. One, you're not wrong in any of that. And as soon as I started playing it, because it does feel like Hitman, obviously, IO, it's not enough Hitman. So literally the one sentence answer for what is this game, it's probably not enough of either. Yes. So it's so in the middle that anybody coming from Hitman world is going to be like, I can't do what I want to do. And then coming from Uncharted, they're like, wait, why do I do this Hitman level? Because I just want to do more Uncharted. If you want Uncharted, it's because I played 6 chapters. It's more Uncharted than it is Hitman. There's only been like 2 huge like, hey, go explore these areas and like try to figure shit out. Maybe 3, but like a lot of it's been set pieces. And like to your point of like, I can't do this right now. I can't take this one person out. It always devolves into punching. All right, this game always devolves into punching and then killing. Yeah. And what's interesting is, we didn't say this, but you can only shoot. You can't shoot. The only time you can shoot is someone shoots at you.
Right.
And then it turns on like a license to kill. And then it's just shooting, right? Because you can't go back. I mean, you can punch while you're shooting, and a lot of times in a shooting level, I will just like, it's easier to grab somebody and just punch them and like knock them down. But yeah, it devolves into a shoot fest. And then I'm like, okay, I'm playing Uncharted. So, and to the earlier point that I'll kind of pile on with you, you have a watch that's basically your watch is the thing that does all that like scanning. And then you can like poison people and make them sick, or later on you can do vibration and like, blow things up and stuff. All that's tied to a resource.
Ugh, I hate
which is the dumbest fucking thing. Hugest mark against this game. Because I played a lot of it. All the time I want to do these little things they gave me, And that, to your point, is like the exploration and fun of it. And literally there'd be no reason. There's literally no reason to make that tied to a resource. Because you have to pick shit up in the level to recharge that.
It's this, I mean, I would wish they would just give you like, I start the level with 3 darts. And if I knew how many darts I had, They could
do that. Or they could make them unlimited. They could make it
Or either way, have it be a toggle, have it be an option or something. But like, it's so stupid. You have your phone that shoots poison darts. You shoot 1 dart, and then your phone is empty, and then you got to find chemicals. I'm sorry, I pick up Windex from the cleaning woman's cart. Windex doesn't make you sleep; it just kills you and it makes you sick. That doesn't make a sleep dart.
Yeah,
and I have to find 3 bottles of Windex before I can shoot the dart again. It's fucking irritating as shit, dude.
Yeah,
I do not.
That's the dumbest thing in the world. Because later on, I was literally at a place where I could have knocked this like floor down or wall down or something, but I was out, and there was none in the level. I was like, oh wait, so I can't use this. So I can't use this. They wanted me to do something else, but the point is, fuck off. Like if you're gonna give me this thing, and they do such a big. Like make a big deal of the new gadgets, which is one of my favorite things of the game. Because if you watch my videos, you'll see I just like stay all the time in that lab. Like anytime they let me go in that lab, it's like an hour. Carlos is just there. I just try everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when see, here's my point. When you leave that lab that they really do, the developers focused on, there's a lot of fun stuff to be had. And you leave the lab with cool shit. I like zapped some person. I blew something up. And then you can't use it. You fucking idiot. That's crazy. Okay. So then the last thing I'll say is I think that I am disliking it more than liking it, even though the story I do like. I'm kind of like bought into it. But it's just because the last 2 or 3 levels have been just that thing of like everything's blowing up around me. And I really didn't sign up to just play an Uncharted game. So I think that's what's hurting it for me is that it's like the bombastic stuff. It's almost like Nintendo Game Boy stuff. You remember how you didn't want to go back to Game Boy?
Yes.
I really don't want to go back to an Uncharted experience.
Same.
Right? Like I don't want the world to be falling all around me and me hitting buttons to leave, and like dodging. I don't want that anymore. Like
it's like in the very beginning of the game when you're getting your basic training or whatever. And like, man, I got to say, like these opening hours are just like a trudge. I feel the pacing is really weird and super slow, but like at one point you're doing a hand-to-hand training with the guy who starts out as kind of like your rival, but you become friends, and you're punching, and it's like 15 out of 10 over the top, where like you punch him and he goes through a wall and you fall down and the thing blows up, and then
it's that chicken fight. That's what it is. Remember the Peter Griffin chicken fight?
I didn't know.
Oh, you're not a Family Guy guy. Anyways,
I mean, I watched it, but I don't know what that.
There's a fight that goes on for the whole episode, pretty much.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's that. It's what you're talking about. Where it's like it just keeps going.
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to be a fist fight, and then there's like multiple explosions and buildings crash, and they fall, and like they're through the sky, and all this stuff happens, and people die, and I'm like, what is going on, dude? Like, it's like it's that where I'm like, and again, I'm not an Uncharted fan. I've played several Uncharted games, and I don't know why I do. I think I just to keep up with the Joneses, I suppose, because I don't really like them, and this game just doesn't land in a place for me that really works for me, and so I'm just not feeling it. And I don't even really care about the story at all, so that's not really keeping me in either. So I'm failing to connect on any level here.
My last 2 things I'll say is, one, the story does like make you feel for it at some point. It really does, because some I think some really cool kind of things happen and some emotional things happen, and that kind of kept me going.
Yeah.
And then secondly, the shooting is very good. Like, you didn't get to the shooting really, because when you do, you'll know. It's like, okay, kill everybody you see. It felt really good. And I was like, I can be a sucker for a good third-person shooter,
Okay.
So that's what kept me in. But what's really keeping me in is Glitch to the Ground. I just want to find some dumb shit. Yeah. And, third-person games that are kind of mini open worlds, they really let me like find funny stuff. And so this game, to the developers' credit, built a lot of humor in it. Or humor.
Humor. It's kind of
I was going to say
human,
comedy. Yeah. It has a lot of humor in it. And so there's like jokes and stuff. There's like funny little things you can do with the environment. So it's just not enough Hitman for me either. So I'll agree with you there.
Yeah. I mean, I realize they have a license to work with. They've got expectations to work with. I mean, the Ian Fleming estate. I mean, there's all sorts of, things, restrictions and stuff. So I totally get it. But yeah, it just doesn't, not enough Hitman. It's not working. I don't really want this. But yeah, anyway, props to IO for trying something. And they are genuinely funny. I don't know if people know this, but we've mentioned the Hitman games are hilarious.
Yeah, they're
not
that in
dark.
them.
I mean, they're very, very, very funny. So it makes sense that there's humor to be had here. But yeah, it's like, how people say like chocolate and peanut butter, you put those 2 things together and it's like, oh, that's 2 great tastes that taste great together. This is like chocolate and like a fucking sardine, and I'm just like,
jeez. Okay, I would not say sardine. I would say, I get what you say. I get what you mean. I'd say chocolate and
like a mushroom or something.
Jalapeno.
Yeah, maybe you like each of those things
chocolate,
on their own. But
yeah, sometimes people don't like spicy chocolate.
Yeah.
But I will also say, what's weird is Lenny Kravitz is in this game, and I met him, and he's Lenny Kravitz. Like he's a bad guy, and I was like, I don't see the point. Like, it could have just been a bad guy. I don't want to say anything bad or disparaging.
Maybe he's a
Lenny
fan.
Kravitz.
I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe they were fans of it. But it just felt a little jarring because I was like, that looks very much like him and sounds like him because it is him. That's Lenny Kravitz. I'm playing a game with Lenny Kravitz.
There you go.
I was like,
Seems
okay.
like it's less cool than when Grimes showed up in Cyberpunk. Huh?
That part was fucking cool.
That was one of the coolest things ever. Yeah, it really was.
Fuck,
it really
I miss Cyberpunk. Gosh, damn that game.
All right, before we go off on a huge
we were talking
tangent.
about we're talking about First Light. We say Cyberpunk is so cool.
Yeah. We in that one sentence, we were both mutually more excited about that one scene in Cyberpunk than we were about all of 007.
Also, the DLC. Remember how good that was?
It was the best part of the game, dude. It was really good.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, okay, so this is not
First
Cyberpunk.
Light is
it's
not Cyberpunk.
007. Yes, First Light. There you go. All right, folks. Game portion of the show is officially done, but Carlos and I do have some TV and movies to talk about. Carlos, what do you got this week?
That was a super long show and went by fast, weirdly enough.
Yes.
So Widow's Bay, I'm still watching. I'm trying to get you to watch. You're not going to watch it. I think
watch
you
it
might.
as soon as it's out. When's the next episode?
I think the last episode. I want to say it's out. I think it's out.
As long as it's out, I'm in.
I think it's out Tuesday. But what my point is, if it's out Tuesday, you could get started now. You're not going to finish it.
Yes.
Okay. So
we're almost done. We could start it soon.
Get going. I think Tuesday is the finale. It is fucking great, and it reminds me of Atlanta because one of the guys directed Atlanta is on this. Mm-hmm. He's done a bunch of other stuff. He's really good. Hero is his name. And then also I watched Spider Noir. I started that series, which is all out, by the way.
Yes, which I appreciated. That was great. We did start that as well.
Okay, you started it as well. And I'm starting in black and white, and I watched the first 4 episodes in black and white, and I switched to color, and I think I picked the right time to switch because I feel like I don't know. Have you watched it in color or black and white?
We watched both. So what we did was we started the first episode. We've only seen one episode, so we just started yesterday. So we watched the first episode. We watched half in color, and I'm like, okay, let's see what this looks like. And I'm like, okay. And then we stopped, and then we put it in black and white. We watched the back half in black and white. And I think based on this one experiment, I think I prefer it in black and white.
It is made for black and white, so that is the correct answer. And also, it's interesting because they went really over the top with the color. They call it hue color or something. And it's very, very vibrant. And I think it does make sense for certain episodes. So I jumped over to color for I think episode 4 or 5. And it made sense in that vibe. So I don't know. But I really enjoyed the black and white experience of 3 episodes of it. So,
okay.
Very much like that. And you like it a lot, I think, right?
Yes. Oh, okay. Yes. Asterisk.
Yeah.
One thing that was weird is that in the very first episode, Nicolas Cage, who is the Spider-Man, which I think is not a secret since he's in all the trailers, he sees the main lady. She plays the lounge singer lady or whatever, and he does the classic noir detective thing of I'm in love because she's so beautiful and sexy. She does an amazing number. Her song is fucking awesome. I'm wow, that's great. But the thing that's weird about this is he's old enough to be your fucking grandpa. So that disconnect is not working for me. He needs to either not be interested romantically in her, or she could have been older, a different actress or something. Because that, I mean, I don't know how big the age gap is there. It's got to be pretty significant. And I'm that one part wasn't working for me. The rest of the show I think is great.
I'll fix that for you really quickly. One, she's not as young as you think. I think she's a 40-year-old woman, and I think that's what she's supposed to be. And he might be a 50-year-old guy, so I don't think it's that drastic.
He's 65 or something like that.
He could be. He doesn't feel like that in the movie. I feel like he feels like a gumshoe guy. I don't know. But the secondly is, I'll minor spoiler. That's not an issue, so don't worry about that. That's not what they're going for in this show.
Good.
I know in episode 1 it looks like that because he's so blown away by her.
I
think he likes her, whatever. But I've watched how it plays out, and it's really about the world and this other stuff. It's not about that. So that fixes it for you. Also, the Backrooms I saw finally in the theater.
Yes, I know you're very excited for that.
I say finally because it just came out, but I've been waiting for it for a while. I love Liminal Spaces. I love Backrooms. I like what Kane did. Kane Pix is the guy who made it originally. I didn't know that he created it when he was 14 and 15, and he's only just turned 17, I think.
Oh, wow.
Which is wild because he basically, co-directed/directed this film, millions of dollar budget, whatever. And I'll say, I'm very excited in general that a YouTuber basically got the ability to make a movie. Okay, so put that out there first because that's really important. I think a lot of creators who are making stuff get more chances at making bigger stuff. And Obsession is a huge movie out right now, which I have not seen. I feel like you would love it. Also made from a really indie creator, and people are loving that movie.
I've heard a lot about it and have not seen it, though.
Yeah. So anyways, this is obviously about liminal space. It's about the world he created. It's kind of a extension of that world by telling a story of people going into the space and their experience in there. A guy talking to his therapist, and the guy who runs a furniture store finds a liminal space back rooms in his furniture store. Minor spoiler, but he goes in there, and then at some point, the therapist woman will go in after him. And then I won't say anything else about the movie inside there, but it is that really weird liminal space vibe. My friend who went with me was bored a lot of it because I'm excited about liminal areas. Mm-hmm. And if you're not, it's like a lot is not happening when you're in there. Yeah. But for me, like every single room is like, oh, that's cool because that's that, and look at that, and So I was excited just by the vibe of it.
Gotcha.
But I will say the negative, and this might come down to, I don't want to be ageism, but it might come down to his age, because it does turn into like a darker horror kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. Into a point of like one main character getting like really hurt, and I was like, oh, I don't like this. Like, this is making me just feel uncomfortable now, and like all the other stuff was like a vibe, and this like thing they did to pretty much kind of finish the movie felt just like a horror thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm of two minds of it. I liked the good first half, and like, oh, this is a really cool realized version. Because a ton of it was practical effects, like most of it.
That's cool.
They build these huge backroom areas, and it was like felt so cool to be in there. And I was like, oh, I love this. And then it turned just dark, and someone, like I said, minor spoiler, gets in a bad way. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want that for this, So I left the theater kind of disappointed. Yeah.
Interesting.
When I didn't want, and I think it's why I said the age thing, because I think someone else with a little more years of life on the planet would have had I don't want to be ageist. Okay, but I do think a nuance could have been used here. Like some understanding, some character development, something else, and not just turn into like, dun 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 dun, run, things are bad. You know what I mean?
Probably be a pretty hard sell if it was just exploring the back rooms, though. I mean, I think they needed to somehow market this in a traditional film sense. I mean, I don't know how many people are seeing this who don't know what the back rooms is. I'm sure some people.
I think a lot are, and I think they're going to be like my friend, and they're going to be bored. Yeah, and I get that vibe, but it's not like what you said. It's not like a team of marketers going like, how do we make this movie for everybody? That guy made it. Like Kane made it. Like it's his vision.
Sure, so but you got to have some kind of hook for for the theaters, and it can't just be like vibes,
Right, but they didn't tell him that. Like, so I did a lot of research. They didn't say like, "Hey, make a hook for us." They were like, "Make your vision," and I'm saying that his vision didn't have enough nuance for me. They turned into like, "Okay, this is scary. Now you have to run," and I'm like, "Ah." Yeah. So, anyways, what you said your son saw it, right? Though, and like,
yeah, he said it's kind of scary. That's all he said.
Yeah, that's the scary part. He didn't need that. Yeah.
He was just, it's kind of scary. And he was, did you like it? Yes. Did you have fun? Yes. How was it? It was kind of scary. Okay.
All right.
I mean, he left it there. That's all he had to say.
I could have just said that, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Let me circle back. Just a couple really quick things. The wife and I finished Stugo on Disney. 20 episodes altogether. It got canceled after the first season, which is insane because that cartoon is fucking amazing.
You love it.
So funny. Every time I think about it, it makes me laugh because it is so funny. And it is a crime that Disney did not think this thing was funny enough to keep going. I implore anybody listening, if you like just give it a shot. Just really give it a shot. I think there's a lot of really good jokes, smart jokes, sci-fi, fantasy. It's just, oh man, loved it so much. We got to episode 20 and I was legit sad that there wasn't any more. I was like, oh my gosh, I could have watched 10 more fucking seasons of that. No problem. So anyway, shout out to Stugo. Ryan Gillis is the creator of that, and I guess he does another show called Peanut and Pickle, which I have never heard of, but we looked it up to see what else he had done, and so we're gonna track that down and see if it's as funny as Stugo is. We'll see. So the only other thing to talk about. Oh, go ahead.
Just because cartoons, I forgot. Did I ever tell you about Fired on Mars?
You did. Yes, you did. It's on my list.
Okay, because I just remember like you were thinking about like what show would you wish it was still around?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you finish it, it was such a short experience.
Yeah.
And Tim Heidecker's in it too, like from Tim and Eric, and I just really enjoyed that weird. Luke Wilson was the main character.
Okay.
Anyways, so check that out.
Check that out. The other thing is it's kind of a circle back almost. I talked a couple episodes ago. I'm not sure if you were on the show or not, Carlos, but Scrubs. You ever Scrubs back in the day?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my wife and I watched it back in the day. It's about a bunch of screw up intern doctors at a hospital who are trying to become doctors, and it's about their, day-to-day shenanigans and a lot like slapstick comedy, weird jokes, weird stuff happening, very absurd comedy. And my wife and I really liked it back in the day. We had good fun, fond memories of it. We went back and watched it. And I mentioned this on a previous episode. And I was shocked at how fucking sexist it was. It was like intolerably sexist. So many like anti-woman, really derogatory things happening. So many plot lines where someone's being an absolute piece of shit to a woman. And like at the end of it, like the woman apologizes, or like the guy just gets off and nothing happens and there's no comeuppance. There's no circling back. And it was like crazy to me right now that I'm watching this and going, how the fuck did I ever watch this? But we watched it. We watched almost the whole thing back in the day, like 8 seasons of it.
Yeah.
And we had good memories. So my wife didn't have any bad memories. I didn't have any bad memories, but we watched it now. Could not fucking watch it, dude. So we stopped. And I was like, okay, so that didn't go the way we planned. But I know that they recently revitalized it. There's a brand new Scrubs on, and that was kind of what got us to watch the old one first. So we're like, okay, everybody's like 30 years older. They're still doctors, but like they're experienced now. They're all, grown ups and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, I'm really curious to see how the show has matured and evolved since then. So we watched the brand new Scrubs, which only has, I think, 9 episodes out or something so far. Unwatchable. Still unwatchable.
What? It went back? It's still the thing?
I was like, it must be the creator, Bill Lawrence, because like I was watching this and I was like, damn, this feels very old and out of date and inappropriate. And like we watched 1 episode and I look at my wife, I'm like, nah. She's like, nah. So very, very big thumbs down. I'm so shocked at how unevolved and how little that show has grown in all this time. Extremely fucking disappointing.
Weird.
So we're out. We are out.
By the way, I was out as soon as it was in a hospital. I don't watch any show that's in a hospital. But yeah. Right. Oh, and on that Resident Alien tip I mentioned in Discord, I thought season 4 was a new season. I was fooled, but it isn't. Okay. Season 4 already came out. I already watched it. We all watched it. Yeah. Us fans. And you made me a fan. But June 6th, Resident Alien season 4 comes to Netflix. So if you've not seen it, because it was a little tricky to watch, I think.
Yeah, it was hard to track down for a while, yeah.
So it'll be available for everybody on June 6th, and then we can all lament that there's never going to be another one.
That show kicks ass, and I'm sad that there's not more of it, but I will say that I'm happy they got to end it properly.
Yeah, they did, and I really liked it.
I love Resident Alien, dude. What a great show. What a great fucking show. Okay. All right, folks. Speaking of shows, that is a show. Before the closing music, please leave a review, share it on social media. But most important of all, please recommend the show to your friends because nothing beats good old word of mouth. As always, give us your questions and comments. Hit me up directly, SoVideoGamesPodcast@gmail.com, or on social media. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky. It's my name, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. Carlos, where can people find you?
YouTube.com/glitchthroughtheground and look for Agent 007 Ruins Everything. That's my newest short where it's funny. Right.
Track that down. Sounds like a good time. You can also find Carlos and I both in the So Videogames Discord. Totally free of charge. Come on in. Just drop me a line and I'll hook you up. You can continue that conversation with us directly. And if you like this episode and you want to hear more, you can support this show and sister site GameCritics.com by going over to patreon.com/the So Videogames Podcast. Every single dollar helps, and €1 helps that much more. Folks, that's going to do it for episode 490. Thank you again for joining us here on So Videogames Podcast, and I'll see you next week.
And I'll see you sometime.